the thumb and a fin, and that stops it. So you can see how that goes firm up against there. And if there wasn't knitting in there, you'd hear metal to metal click, go click, 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 click. But there's yarn in there. So the thicker the yarn is, the more this will be apart. And so it may throw the alignment off of one slot aligned to another. So how you align the slots depends on which machine you have. If you have the ones like the Laguerre that have a knob underneath, you turn that knob, put your finger on it and turn the knob, and you can actually watch the ribber move like this. It'll just move just like this. You see it move, okay? On this machine, it's a Gearhart style, and there's two screws that attach the ribber fin to the dial, and you just adjust them. It's a little more finicky, okay, to get it just right on this style of machine. The one with the knob, like the Laguerre, are a little bit more user-friendly, but they both work exactly the same way, okay? So what I've got is now the ribber is on. I have adjusted the height, just like I showed you. When I put a ribber needle in, it's right here, the ribber needle comes out, and you can see that the distance from the hook to the yarn carrier on the bottom is the same as the distance of the hook to the yarn carrier on the top. I'm just making it exactly the same. If it works here, it'll work here. Now I'm going to show you timing. In actuality, we've already been doing timing. We timed the yarn carrier to the cylinder. Now we're just timing the dial to the cylinder. And that's all we're doing. We did the yarn carrier to the cylinder. Now we're going to do the dial to the cylinder. And here's how you do it. I'm going to put two more ribber needles in. One on this side and one on this side so everybody can see, okay? Now what I want you to watch is how I change the stitch from one to the other. You'll notice I have all cylinder needles in. I have a stitch on that needle right there. If you don't put the needles in, you've got a bar there, right? Well, that's not a stitch. If you transfer that bar up to this needle, you still don't have a stitch until you go all the way around. Okay? So what you do is first put all the cylinder needles in. Now I'm going to transfer the existing stitch over from a cylinder to a ribber. I reach in, pull the spring out just enough to release the butt. I'm going to do one on this side too. Okay? Now the needle's free.
But it's got the yarn still. Yep.
Still got the stitch on it. Now I'm going to pull down and I'm going to hook the cylinder needle hook into the ribber needle hook and lift up.
Fancy. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay. Now on this side, I want you to watch something. Remember I said on this particular style of machine, you can do multiple consecutive purl stitches. Well, here are two right next to each other. Okay? Watch this. 1, 2. I'm going to transfer two at the same time. All that happened is the latch closed. Okay, you ready? The first time I did that in front of the Earlbachers, they went, "That's impossible." I went, "No, it's not. I just did it."
That's where the $3,000 come in.
Okay, now I'll do it over here on this side so you on this side can see what I did. So there's a ribber needle in. And here's two more ribber needles in. okay? Now, this is called the heel or the spring extender or the spring holder. Here's how it works.
Okay.
It was originally designed for when you are doing cables, okay? That's why they were originally on there. On a Laguerre, the height of the camshell is about this high, and it's got a little wire on the top of it. That's the spring holder, okay? And what it allows you to do is pull the needles up without messing with the spring. So when you do cables, you're going to pull needles up, you're going to pull some more needles, and then you're going to swap them and then push them back down. So you don't have to mess with the spring all this time. That's what it's for. So there is...
Oh, so you can mess around with the cylinder needles.
Oh yeah.
And move your stitches back and forth.
Yeah. That's how you do cables.
Cool.
So here's the needle, pull it up, then pull down, hooking hook to hook, and lift up.
Okay. That's like machine.
I'll do the two trick. Up, down, hook them, hook to hook. Lift up. Guess what? It works the same way in reverse. Now I'm going to go from river to cylinder. Push out beyond the latch. There's the latch. See it? Pull out beyond the latch. Hook, hook to hook. Works better with the spring on. Come on, there it goes. Okay. Hook to hook, lift up. Hear that pop?
Yep.
That's the needle, the stitch, switching from one needle to another.
You know, you take the needle and you get the little hook and you get this
Yep.
one and you're trying to pull it iron switching.
Okay, I'll do it again.
Drop that so often.
I'll show it to you again. I'm going to put the spring on because it's a little easier to do it with the spring on, okay? Extend it out beyond the latch, lift up, hook to hook, pull up, and you'll hear that little pop. Right there. That's how you
It's
transfer.
a sound of money.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got one rubber needle in here, so now I'm just going to go around and I'm going to put rubber needles in. And I'll put a couple over here. And then we'll put a couple over here so everybody can see what I'm doing. Okay? Now I'm going to transfer the stitches over. Yep. Latch was closed. You'll also see me when I do these, I have a tendency, a habit, I do it without even thinking about it anymore. I do like this, and then I do that. And I'm opening the hook, okay? And I don't even think about it anymore, and I forget to tell you about it, okay? So when I go in and I just, like that, and I open the hook, and then I put the needle in, okay? So those are in, so that one, this one. There, hook to hook, lift up. This one, hook to hook, lift up. Those are transferred. Now we'll go around the other side. Oh, forgot this one. This will hit, cause a problem. So, one of the things you see me doing, and I don't bring this up all the time. Do you notice I noticed that? It's just one of those things that's in the back of my brain now as muscle memory. Because I've done this so many times, I don't have to think about it anymore. It just comes automatic. But all of you, it's just overwhelming how complex, how many things you got to keep in your brain at one time. Well, after a while, it's in there, and you don't have to think about it. And so that's really one of the problems when you're teaching, is to remember all of those things you had to remember. remember in the beginning. So you'll notice that throughout this entire 2 days, I have not talked about anything complex. Not about fancy stitches or, advanced tech. It's all about the basics. You've got enough to learn now before you get to the advanced stitches. And the advanced stitches are on YouTube and they're on, the Facebook and on the Ravelry. You can find them. Learn this first. Get the memory in, get the habits in first, then everything else will come in quickly. And it'll come almost automatic for you.